fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Have you ever been stuck? I have. I lived in a gorgeous place, sunny San Diego. Our house was but 3 miles from the beach. The year was 2000, and life was good. I was married, had a lovely 9-year-old daughter. Then the whole thing came crashing down. One day, a gigantic boulder came down through the roof into the living room. A boulder so big that I could not wish it away or pretend it was not there. It was the day I came to the awareness that I was married to an alcoholic. Now, that was a metaphorical boulder, by the way. How could I miss the warning signs? The evenings, I would come home from work, and my husband would greet me with a large glass of Chardonnay wine, filled all the way to the brim. It wasn't until later that I figured out he was looking for someone to catch up with him in his drinking, as he'd probably been drinking since 1 p.m. And then there was the time he had a plate of spaghetti with red sauce on it, and he slipped, and it all went over the pink carpet. He carefully put the plate on the counter in the kitchen and staggered off to bed. Do you think that was a warning sign? My therapist had told me that she thought my husband was an alcoholic, and I thought she was crazy. And then, like that metaphorical boulder, I saw it. This shouldn't be happening. How could this happen to me? Why? Have you ever felt like that? I was stuck. My therapist would walk me through my angst. One day, she took out a yellow pad of paper, and she drew 2 circles on it, one large, one small. "This is how you see yourself, Rebecca," she said, pointing to the big circle. "Big Rebecca needs to figure everything out. Small, weak husband." Then she turned to another piece of paper and put 2 circles on it and said, "This is how it is." The 2 circles were equal sized. And she said, "You have choices, and he has choices." Huh. I have choices, he has choices. Perhaps in your life, you have choices, and the other person has choices. I remember taking a walk on the beach one afternoon by myself to clear my head. I walked in a bubble of negative emotion. At one point, I just wanted to walk out into that ocean and never come back. End it all. I walked and cried for the longest time, for perhaps an hour, maybe 2. When suddenly, I turned to my right, and there, on the horizon, was the sunset. A lovely golden orb, glowing with such calm beauty, danced on the edge of the horizon as the sky darkened. It spoke to me in a profound way and gave me hope. A thought came to my head. My Aunt Edna Francis used to say this. You know, honey, the tide's gonna roll in and the tide will roll out. It was her way of saying, this too shall pass. That thought was my first step in getting unstuck. It wasn't easy. We went to counseling, and I had a serious discussion with my husband about his drinking. I told him he could choose drinking, or he could choose his family. He had choices, I had choices. It became sadly apparent over the next several months that he had chosen drinking. Slowly and painfully, we moved on with our lives. That thought I had on the beach was the turning point. The tide had changed. Our minds have a tremendous amount of thoughts that float through them all day. And when you're in a stuck place, most of those thoughts tend to be negative. And what we need to find is the thought that will get us unstuck. They are like discordant noises. What we need to find is the thought that keeps those bad thoughts at bay. Those thoughts can be like fearful sheep, baa, baa. And what we need to find is the thought that functions like a sheep dog, woof, woof, to keep those harmful thoughts away. Sometimes we get stuck. When I get stuck, I look to my horizon and I say to myself, you know, honey, the tide's gonna roll in and the tide